I'm always messing around. I gotta make this go a little higher here. I'm just a tall dude. How's that? Looks like the camera's gonna crash in on me. All right, if you're the type of person that you're going down the bank, you're fishing, you think you need a new color, you cut off your swim jig, you tie a new one on, throw it in the bottom of the boat, a week goes by and you got like 18 baits just laying all over the place, stuff's just not organized, you have no idea where anything is, rusty hooks. Don't feel bad, you're just like me. The problem is, I have an issue, right? I need things organized, but I can't keep them organized. And so yes, after a week's worth of fishing, I got a bunch of tackle that needs to be put back in its place. And so what I like to do is I keep a big bag and I just stuff. I know it'd be so much easier if I just took the time to put that half-ounce weight back where it belongs, but I don't. I'm guilty of it. I know a lot of people that I fish with, I see it happen all the time. It does drive me crazy. Some people are fine with that. Some people like that clutter. Some people will go all season long without dealing with it. But not me. I gotta keep it organized. And one of my goals this year is to actually try to be a little bit better and more proactive when it comes to taking care of my tackle. Because let's face it, stuff's expensive. A simple bag of hooks is getting outrageous. I mean, you can go to a tackle store and put in an order and it's nothing to have a little cardboard box this big show up at your doorstep and you pay $200-300 for the contents in there. Ridiculous. So I'm going to try to keep up with my tackle this year, but I have a really neat system. It seems like every year I improve on it. You know, this time of year right now, I'm trying to get my baits and my tackle ready for the coming season. And so I need to take inventory of everything I have. I need to order baits or maybe baits that I'm thinking about trying and putting into the rotation. And then I'm going through all my boxes and making sure I know exactly where everything is. Because to be efficient on the water and to know what you have, especially when you have so much stuff, you got to have easy access to it and you got to know exactly where it is. So hopefully this video will help you out or at least give you some ideas moving forward. So there is a ton of options when it comes to tackle storage. And I've tried a lot in the past and I'm pretty confident that I really like my current setup. It seems to be working really well for me. So I carry a bunch of terminal tackle with me and it's almost overwhelming at times the amount of stuff I need. Because I fish a lot of smallmouth and largemouth waters, there's a variety of different items that I'm going to need to carry with me when I'm out there. Because there's days you can be on a smallmouth bite and on the same body of water you're going to be largemouth fishing. Even the next hour you might decide. And so I have to carry everything in my boat. Of course this is nothing new. Terminal tackle's heavy. A lot of small pieces, a lot of loose pieces. There's a lot of ways where rust can accumulate. You can really screw up your hooks big time. And so I do like the Bass Mafia terminal coffin box. It's expensive, okay? But it is very durable. It is somewhat waterproof. Listen, I'm in big waves a lot, okay? We're spearing waves at times. Water gets into my boat by the millions of gallons. So my stuff gets wet. I haven't found the perfect box. So I'm not going to lie to you and say this terminal tackle box will not get wet. I had them get wet before, but it's better than some of the other ones on the market from what I found. So we're going to open this up. I'm going to show you exactly what's in here and how I have things broken down. So these boxes are very, very durable, which is what I like about it. But in here I just have my weights and my various hooks that I use quite a bit, as well as some other small items in these smaller trays. So this year I went with this setup on the weights. They make, I don't even know what these are called. So it allows you to keep a variety of your weights in here. What's nice about it is a lot of times it's a hassle, right? It's actually a lot of work going in here and grabbing a weight. But I have my 1/32, you know, 1/16, 1/8, all the way up quarters, 3/8. And I do have my ounce and a halves up here. I don't go through a whole lot of these So I don't mind that there's not a lot of weights in here, right? But I'll replace them as I move forward here. So I'm not worried about that. I do like the fact that they're in these containers. A lot of times when your weights are loose, they'll bang up, with the boat ride. Some of that paint will chip off, so that could happen. So I think this just protects your weights a little bit better. This is a new system here that I'm using this year. Let me see if I get frustrated, and I put these weights back where they belong at the end of the day. I don't know how that's going to go. It'll be interesting to find out. So here I have my Carolina rig weights in the bottom left. I have my beads. I have my swivels. I have my snap swivels. I have some crankbait clips here. I got a couple of rattles, easy access. I have my Nico weights in here. Some flick shakes, parasite clips, and then I have my hooks. I have my extra wide gap. I have my light wires, and I have them from bigger size hooks down to smaller size hooks. I got some wacky rig stuff here, some more wacky rigs, and I got some bobber stoppers and in different types of, just plastic, dang, it's falling out already, holders in here. So this box is where all the magic happens when it comes to Texas rigging baits for the most part, or any soft plastic, whether it be weightless and I need an extra wide gap hook or whatever the case may be. This is my go-to box. I got to make sure this is in my boat every day. So of course, drop shot and in tubes. I have these in these smaller boxes that stay in my boat. I have every size tube insert that I think I'll need, as well as my drop shot weights. But this is more of the box that I take, say, if I'm going out largemouth fishing or if I'm going to a new body of water. If I'm up on Lake Ontario or the Great Lakes drop shotting for smallmouth, I'm gonna have a lot more drop shot weights with me. This is just a variety of drop shot weights from 3/32 out up to an ounce that I might need, and so I always have them with me. But of course, if I'm fishing getting ready for a big guide trip or a bunch of days on smallmouth water where I know I'm drop shotting real deep, I'm probably gonna have a 100 count bag of half ounce and 5 ounce weights with me. But this just makes sure I always have some weights in the boat. If I get into a bind where I don't think I'm going to be drop shotting, that's part of this tackle organization system. Is I may not think I'll be doing something, but an idea will pop in my head and I want to make sure that stuff's in the boat, but I don't want it taking up a whole bunch of room. This allows me to do that. Now of course, once those get low in my truck or back in the garage or whatever the case may be, I'm going to have my big box of weights for both my drop shots and my tube heads. So the next stage in this system, and this is something totally new for this season for me. In the past, I used these Bass Mafia heavy duty bags, zippered, and they can store a lot of your plastics as well as your hard baits. And in this case, I have a bag full of all my chatter baits are in here, and I label them. So if I'm looking for 3/8 ounce jackhammers, here they are in some heavier plastic bags. I take the time to label each one so I know 3/8. If I'm looking for 3/4 ounce jackhammers, there they are. If I'm looking for whatever these are, football head chatterbaits, and I have them different sizes in here: half ounce, 3/8, 3/4, 1 ounce. Everything is just right there for me to go and grab, and it's a great system. And I use this system for a bunch of my baits, spinner baits, things like that. Last year, I put a lot of my terminal tackle, extra stuff, jig heads, hooks, Ned rig heads, everything was in this bag, and I just didn't like it. It didn't work out for me. This sat in one of my rod lockers, and at times water got in, even though it's zippered. I mean, this shit's from China, right? Okay, they just buy it in bulk. Probably costs them $3 and they sell it for 20, $15 a bag. So yeah, stuff's gonna get into them. It is what it is. So you want to be cautious of that. If I put all these chatterbaits in here, I put separate bags, right? And then another separate bag. So this is how I try to keep my chatterbaits protected from the elements. There's my 3/4 ounce football heads in a nice sealed heavy duty 4mm bag that go into another 4mm bag. And if I remember to seal it, okay, if I remember to seal it, I'm kind of extra protected, right? It's like when Dr. Fauci says to wear 2 masks, you know, you want to be extra protected. And that's what I'm trying to do here, as well as the bag. So now we're triple masked up, and we should be good to go. All right, so my baits are still staying in these bags. This is how I do it. But my miscellaneous tackle, okay, all that stuff. Let's just see what do I mean when I say all this stuff? Well, first let me show you the box. I went out and bought, I don't even know who makes this, Plano. I bought this box that Plano makes. It's heavy duty. I'm just experimenting here. I really think this system's gonna work. It seems to be watertight. It's advertised as watertight. And it has 3 latches on it. And if we open it up, and this thing weighs a ton, okay? I'm struggling here. But we're gonna open it up, and let me first of all show you. So what do I mean by stuff? I don't know. Let's just grab some of these bags. So True Bass heads. So drop shot hooks, various drop shot hooks. Damiki, so if I'm damikiing, fishing for suspended fish, I got a bag. Giant TRD, right? I don't always throw a giant TRD, but if I'm out there and I want to make sure I got the heads for it. So I got some heads. Let's see. Okay, pivot heads. What else we got? So these are the lead heads I use when I'm fishing a specific swim bait. Here's those screw locks, so swim bait screw lock hooks. They work really well on your smaller swim baits, like a Spark Shad or perhaps a Kai-Tech, whatever the case may be. I have them. As we keep looking for, so I got a bunch of Kai-Tech tungsten jig heads. Just a lot of Kai-Tech footballs. And here we got some weights and stuff. Split shot. And then this bag's labeled miscellaneous, so it looks like I got like rattles. I have 3-way swivels. I mean, let's take a look at this bag. Like, how often am I gonna use a 3-way swivel? I don't know, someday I might get a crazy idea to take a leader with a weight and maybe a floating Rapala and drag, I don't know, I'm just throwing out ideas, guys. I wanna make sure I got everything. Tail spins, some miscellaneous hooks in here. A lot of technique-specific hooks will be found in here. So that's a good thing to have access to all that. I may never use them, but I'll have them and I'll know where they are. So then I also have 4 of these containers that I don't know how I had these. They didn't come with this Plano box, but they're just 4 cases. And so here I have shaky written on it. So, and I have them rubber band too, just to keep them, like these shakies, I don't use a lot of them, but I have them in here. Weedless ones, some ones that'll be good around rock, some football head shakies, ultra head shakies, just a bunch of different shakies. And so I just keep them in bags inside here and then rubber band. Everything's about trying to keep them as dry as possible. So this one here is swim bait heads. So as you can see, we got like some Omega Bass screw heads, some different swim bait heads in there. So I have those ready to go. Footballs. So I got my football jigs in here. One's with weed guards, one without. Just a bunch of different football heads. And then swim bait hooks. So, all right, so your owners, your gamblers, just all the different types of extra wide gap, if you will, swim bait hooks if I'm Texas rigging them. So they're all in this box, ready to go. Got some Santone Spark jigs. I got some eyeballs, right? Little bait modifications, if you will. So this is where all my miscellaneous stuff goes, which I may not open this box up all day, but at least I know if something hits me that I need this bait and this technique, I know where to go. And the name of the game is, like I said, keeping your stuff dry. I don't know how else to do it. I think this is a great system. Now it's just a matter of being able to put it all back in place so it doesn't get all in disarray again. So perfect. So it's not huge, but it's going to take up a little bit of space in your compartment. But like I said, hopefully waterproof, moisture won't get into it. And listen, I'm going to check it every once in a while. If I don't go in here and digging around for baits, you know, every week or so, week and a half, I'm going to take a look and make sure everything's in good condition. Because if moisture did get in here, let's say I speared a wave out there and, you know, I had standing water in my boat, in my compartment, and I didn't catch this, we could be in a lot of trouble with all that rust. And so I have this labeled terminal tackle box, right? Got a label on it, I know what it is. We got the Bass Mafia box. We have our drop shot and our tube boxes. So this is it right here. This is my terminal tackle boxes that I'm going to take with me. I have this bag here. So get yourself some type of bag. It's got a hook sticking out of it that's broken off. Let's get that taken care of right now. There. So we don't get stuck. So this will actually go in a compartment that's really easy accessible for me. And what's in here are going to be terminal tackle that I use daily. So that way I don't have to dig into this big green box and look for all that stuff. Because, you know, you can get into an area and you're breaking off, or you have a lot of snags, or guiding, you have a lot of customers getting snagged up and you're just retying non-stop. This is what this bag comes in place for. And if you open it up, so you're gonna see my big TRD. So I use Ned rigs a lot. And as we open this up, I have all the sizes I use. 1/6, 1/5, 1/10, all in separate bags as well that are labeled, so I know exactly what I'm looking at. And so I'm always digging in here. Ned locks, same thing. 1/10, 1/5, 1/6, 1/15, chartreuse, green pumpkin, blackheads, a bunch of them. I'm always throwing the Ned rig, so this is there. Now, again, we have one package, 4mm plastic, and then we have my 1/10s. Now, what's cool about this, listen, I know when I'm getting down to, you know, 5 or 6 1/10 size Ned locks left, and I know to go to the mother box and load these back up. And so having a clear bag, I'm able to keep track of inventory really well, especially on these baits that I use, this terminal tackle that I use quite a bit. Finesse bullets, so they're all in there labeled. What's this? Pro shrooms, use a lot of pro shrooms, same deal. They're all in individual packages that are labeled. Drop shot, right? So a bag of drop shots. So what does my typical drop shot look like? Well, I'm going to have size 4 Gamakatsu split shot, size 1, size 2, and size 1/0. And they're all there, ready to go. And this allows me to really pay attention to inventory, know exactly what I have. This here's got my wacky rig tools. It's got some nail weights. It's got everything I need quickly. And then, you know, if there's some miscellaneous baits. I want to try these Ned rigs with little willow leaf spinners on them. I have those ready to go. Anything that I want to experiment with for the day, or baits that I'm going to use on a regular basis. And I'll actually put my line. So if I'm throwing 8-pound test line a lot, let's say I'm drop shotting for smallmouth. I'm up on the Great Lakes. That's all we're doing is we're drop shotting deep. I'm going to have a spool of 8-pound line in here. I'm going to have my 1/2 ounce and 5/8 ounce drop shot weights. So I'll have a big bag of those in here too, besides those that are in that compartment. Because now, you know, I'm just grabbing this. This is it. This is like all I need. So when you're in big waves and you're dealing with customers and clients, I can just sit down. I can say, excuse me, I got to get in that drawer, right? Open up that lid, grab my bag, grab this bag, and I'm just going to town, retying, getting everything. Everything I need for the day is right here. It's super, super convenient. But keep in mind, listen, right? But we still have all this stuff right here in case I need to get in here. So this is the best setup that I think I've found so far. So the key is, you know, you're fishing Ned rigs, right? And you're catching a ton of fish, and you're changing plastics, you're changing hook sizes. Next thing you got a bunch of Ned locks sitting at the bottom of the boat. And so what I like to do, especially when I'm traveling, is I'll keep one of these Bass Mafia bags, and all it is for leftovers. So I take all those Ned rig heads, I take all my tungsten weights, I take all my plastics, my spinnerbait that's just laying on the floor, and I just dump it into the bag, and then when I have some time, I take that bag out, and that's when I start sorting things out, right? I'm putting all my drop shot weights in one pile, I'm putting all my hooks over here, I'm putting all my Ned rigs over here, and then I go and take each pile individually and take all my 1/10 sizes, put them back into the bag. Take all my 1/5, put them back into the bag. So it's always a process. It's never easy, but I think this system, if you guys utilize something like this, and I'd love to hear in the comments too what type of system you use, because I'm always looking at being able to improve upon the systems that I do have in place now. And at some point I really need to do another video on how I keep track of all the inventory, as well as all my soft plastics, my crankbaits, my hard baits, my everything. Because it truly is a system that I've been trying to fine tune for years, and I think I got it down. And that goes to how I carry this stuff when I go to on a trip or a tournament, as far as how my tackle's stored in my truck, what's stored here, how I visually know exactly. I have spreadsheets of my baits. You know what I mean? Like, I know how many green pumpkin big TRDs I have in the garage, in the truck, as well as in the boat. So, and then I know when I need to reorder. It's almost like a mini tackle store with a system that, unfortunately, I got to do everything manually. But I do have a very good idea. I mean, I know down to, you know, I know I got 25 DT10s in Helsinki up there. So I just watch that, and I know when it's getting low, time to reorder and stock up. But that's a whole nother video. I mean, we could talk all day on how I keep things managed back here that allows me to go out there and make sure I have all the baits. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, as far even line management. I'm going to do a video on that. How to store your Z-Man baits, right? You got to keep those separate. Of course, I like a lot of hard boxes. I like to keep my soft plastics in hard boxes as well. So there's a whole bunch of different ways and ideas when it comes to tackle organization that we could talk about. All right, I know I'm going to get asked where to find these bags, because it's hard to find the perfect. I really like the ones with the pig holes, so I can put them up on a pig as well. I use these for a lot of things. Like here, like there's some Zoom chunks that didn't have a package, and I put them in these bags, and they're very hard to locate. I'm going to try to find a link and put it in the description, okay, where you can pick up some of these bags. And there's all kinds, I mean, any size you want, 2x2, 2x4, 4x5, 6x8, they make them. And they're really durable bags. And you don't want that, you don't want a light type of plastic, 1mm or 2. You want a 3 or 4 or heavier. You want a heavy bag to withstand your big weights, your hooks, and just to help protect your investment. Well, hey guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, I'm doing something brand new that I started this year. It's called the SmallmouthCrush one-on-one. And what that is, it actually allows you to set up a meeting with me, a consultation for 1 hour. We're going to do it over the internet. So our whole conversation's video recorded. That way you don't have to take notes. But what it's designed to do, if you have questions about anything technique specific, or maybe a new body of water that you want to break down, you want a second pair of eyes, or maybe my advice on how I would approach this particular fishery, you can go to my website, travismanson.com, upper right hand corner. It's going to say Smallmouth Crush one-on-one. You click that, put it in your cart, put it in your basket, check out, and then it'll send me an email. I'll get back to you with some times that'll work for us. So we'll actually sit down, pick a time to have the meeting. We'll talk for an hour. I'm going to send you a questionnaire, so you're gonna send me some information as far as what you want to discuss, how you want to get the most out of that hour's time. And it's been a blast. I've been doing a bunch every week, helping a lot of people out. So if this is something that interests you, definitely check out the Smallmouth Crush one-on-one program that I have. And boom, tackle organization. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, until next time, we'll see you on the water.